In this matchup, we have my Philadelphia Eagles versus the Rams in Philadelphia. Philadelphia favored by 6 points and the over-under being 44.5. The Rams are coming off a dominant blowout win against the Vikings. They sacked Sam Darnold like 9 times, embarrassed the Vikings. But that's the Vikings' MO. The last few years, every time the Vikings get in the playoffs, they're usually one and done. They're out. Boom. See you later. It's like they can't get whatever they're doing. They're not doing anything right. So who's surprised by that? I told you guys, it was going to happen, but what are you going to do? Their offense didn't really do much in that game. The Rams, nobody really stood out. But, because the front seven, or more particular for the defense, they did all the work. They sacked, Sam Darnold 9 times. One of those sacks turned into a fumble, and they took it all over the house for a touchdown. So the Rams offense didn't really have to do much in this game because the Rams defense just held the Vikings offense in check. A quick injury report here. Weatherspoon, their starting cornerback, is questionable for this game. He did not practice on Thursday. Their starting tight end, Higbee, he's also questionable. He practiced briefly on Thursday, so keep an eye on that if you want to bet on the Rams. For the Rams to have any chance in this game, they need to stop Barkley. Barkley killed them last time they played each other, I believe in week 12. Barkley ran for 255 yards in that game. He just ran up and down the Rams like it was going out of style. And the Eagles offensive linemen treated that front seven like they were children. Just throw them out the way. Get out the way. Here you go, Barkley. Why don't you walk into the touchdown? The offensive line manhandled the Rams front seven, that defensive line. So if they're going to win, they need to stop the run and they need to get ahead out quick against the Eagles. They need to score first, keep that lead, because in my opinion, I don't think that defensive line, the front seven for the Rams, could hold up 4 quarters against the Eagles rushing attack. So they need to stay ahead of the Eagles if they want any shot, and they need to stop the run. The number one thing, they need to stop the run. The Rams are 10-8 against the spread, and they're 10-8 to the under. They're 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games, so that's really good if you're a Rams bettor. And they're 5-0 against the spread in their last road games, the last 5 road games. So that is really good to hear if you're a Rams bettor. But as I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I'm taking the Eagles. But let's get to the Eagles. I'll pump the brakes here real quick. Let's get on the Eagles. The Eagles are coming off a great win against the Cheeseheads. I told you guys they would cover that game. Jordan Love looks like just an above average quarterback. The guy throws interceptions to everybody but his own teammates. But I told you guys to cover it, and they did, and they won it for us. The defense played great. They caused 4 turnovers against the Packers, almost 5 turnovers. The defense just looked really physical against the Packers. I'm not here to brag about other teams getting injured, the players, but they hurt their left guard by hitting the guy's left shoulder, and they hurt their 2 wide receivers in that game. At the end of that game for the Packers, they had nobody to throw to. So the Eagles were being really physical, just laying the wood onto the Packers. Barkley killed it again. He ran for 119 yards. It should have been way more. He slid. He had pity against the Packers. Actually, it was good gamemanship. He could have ran for it into the touchdown, but he decided to slide and end the game. So Barkley killed that game. And let's talk about Jalen Hurts. This whole thing about Jalen Hurts, him not looking good. Okay, this team's a running team. They rush the ball more than any other team in the NFL. I believe they're over 55%. So, like that, I don't know, what are people expecting? Him to go 200, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and 4 touchdowns? No, this is a running offense. It has a great offensive line and that loves to plow through people. And I don't get it. What's this expectation everybody's expecting out of Jalen Hurts? When Herbert threw 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions or whatever he did, they said, oh, well, but it's a lack of quality of weapons. It's this and that. They give Herbert all the excuses. when Hurts throws 2 touchdowns and no turnovers, no fumbles either, they say, well, it's a lack of this and it's a lack of that. Hurts is just not that quarterback. He's not that great. Everybody's bitching, complaining about Hurts when he has no turnovers. But when Herbert has all these turnovers, or Love, they're like, well, it was the team around him. He just needs a better weapons and blah, 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 more wide receivers. How come Hurts never gets any of that? People are just hating. Go look at Colin Cowherd. He's like, oh man, I'm afraid of, Hurts is gonna, do this and that. What? He had no turnovers. He almost never turns the ball over. What are you talking about? It's just bias because they have their noses up Herbert's ass and they don't give the same love for Hurts. Let alone Hurts has all these rushing touchdowns, and I'm guaranteed he's gonna have a rushing touchdown against the Rams. But, sorry about that. I just had to talk about that. Hurts was hurt with the concussion. He may have had a little rust, but he wasn't that bad. No turnovers and 2 touchdowns. The Eagles, like I said, they have one of the best offensive line in the league. They have the best running back in the league. They have the best wide receiver duo left in the playoffs, and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. So they have a great roster. I would say the best roster in all of the NFL. The defense is ranked number 1, the number 1 passing defense. The only thing that stings was that during the Packers game, Nakobe Dean, one of the starting linebackers, tore something in his knee, and he's out for playoffs and probably the beginning of next year. And he was having a killer year. He looked really great, and he's really great at stopping the run. So that is going to be a bit of a sting for the Eagles. But the Eagles have Zach Bond. Zach Bond is the all-pro, not just Pro Bowl, all-pro linebacker for the whole NFC. So he's still going to be there. He'll have the green dot in his head. He'll be calling the plays. So having him there is still going to be great. I know. So is the injury going to hurt for the Eagles a little bit? Could be. But I still have confidence in Zach Bond covering the whole field and making sure the Eagles defense is still elite. The Eagles are 12-6 against the spread. They're 11-7 to the under. The weather looks like it's going to be pretty crappy for this game. It looks like there's going to be some flurries, maybe some rain, so keep an eye out for that. But I think that plays into the Eagles' hands. If this is going to be a running, if it's going to be the weather's going to be bad and both teams need a run, who do you want? Do you want Williams, the running back for the Rams, or do you want the great offensive line and Barkley? Who do you want to bet on? I'll take the great offensive line and Barkley any day of the week in bad weather. So, with all that being said, I think you know where I'm leaning. I am a diehard Eagles fan, okay? And I just want to mention, the last time these teams played against each other, Devontae Smith wasn't even in the game. The Eagles, one of their best wide receivers, was out for the game, and they blew him out last week. So Devontae Smith and AJ Brown will be on the same field together for the first time in this rematch. So, like I said, with that, the Rams are traveling across the whole nation from West Coast to East Coast. The weather is going to be crappy as hell, which I think plays in the hands of the Eagles' great offensive line and the running game. And you know what? I just think the Eagles overall are just going to bully the Rams' defensive front. I looked at it. The front seven for the Rams are way underweight of the Eagles' offensive line. The Eagles' offensive line in weight alone is going to overpower this front seven for the Rams. So give me the better overall team. Give me the Eagles to cover the 6 points. And if I was going to, for the under and over, I lean towards the under in this game. But I like the Eagles to come in and cover this number easily at home in Philly. So give me the Eagles to cover the 6 points and to go into the conference championship once again.